In 1987, three researchers approached North Sentinel Island for a 6-hour observation expedition. They returned with 2 hours of memory. Their watches confirmed 6 hours had passed. Their bodies showed 6 hours of fatigue. They could not account for the missing 4 hours. The Indian government classified their report. It has never been fully released. Subscribe to Phantom Feed. Every detail in this video is documented in Indian government archives, anthropological field reports, and survivor testimony. North Sentinel Island sits in the Bay of Bengal, approximately 1,200 kilometers off the eastern coast of India. It is part of the Andaman Islands archipelago. It is approximately 60 square kilometers in size, slightly larger than the island of Manhattan. It has been continuously inhabited for at least 60,000 years. The inhabitants, the Sentinelese, are the most isolated human population on Earth. They have had no sustained contact with the outside world. They speak a language that has never been documented. Their society has not been studied. Their numbers are estimated. Their lifespan is unknown. When ships approach the island, they shoot arrows from the shore. When helicopters fly overhead, they aim spears at the rotors. In November of 2018, an American missionary named John Allen Chow attempted to land on the island. He was killed within minutes of stepping onto the beach. His body was buried where he fell. The Indian government has not attempted to recover it. But the Sentinelese are not the strangest thing about North Sentinel Island. In 1956, the Indian government, under the Andaman and Nicobar Islands Protection of Aboriginal Tribes Regulation, declared a 3-mile exclusion zone around the island. The official reason was protection of the indigenous population from disease. The unofficial reason has never been disclosed. If this is starting to disturb you, hit subscribe. Between 1967 and 1991, the Indian Anthropological Survey conducted 11 expeditions to the perimeter of the exclusion zone. The purpose was observation only. Researchers did not land. They documented from boats anchored at the edge of the 3-mile boundary. The reports from these expeditions are partially declassified. 8 of them describe routine observation work. 3 of them describe something else. In March of 1987, a team led by an anthropologist named Tien Pundit approached the island from the eastern shore. Their plan was a 6-hour observation, beginning at 8 a.m. and ending at 2 p.m. The team consisted of 3 researchers. They were equipped with binoculars, cameras, a marine radio, and a chronometer. They reported back to the base station at 8:30 a.m. They reported back at 9 a.m. They reported back at 9:30 a.m. Then, for 4 hours, there was no contact. The base station made 12 attempted contacts during this period. There was no response. At 1:42 p.m., the team's radio came back online. The lead researcher reported that they were returning to base. They reported nothing unusual. When they arrived at 2:14 p.m., they were debriefed. According to the debriefing transcript, partially declassified in 2019, the team reported that they had observed the island for approximately 2 hours. They had no memory of the period between 9:30 a.m. and 1:42 p.m. Their chronometer showed the elapsed time correctly, 6 hours. The team's bodies showed signs consistent with 6 hours of physical activity. They were hungry. They were dehydrated. Their muscles showed fatigue. But their memory contained only 2 hours. The cameras they had brought returned with 3 hours of corrupted footage. The corruption was not standard image degradation. The files were intact in structure, but the visual data within them had been scrambled, not erased, but rearranged into patterns that no known compression algorithm produces. Indian technical specialists were unable to recover the footage. The chronometer continued to function normally. The compass aboard the boat had stopped functioning during the same window. It resumed normal function the moment they passed the 3-mile boundary on the return. The report was filed in May of 1987. It was classified the following month. In October of 1989, a second expedition, sent specifically to verify the 1987 incident, experienced the same phenomenon. A 4-hour gap in memory. A 6-hour gap on the clock. Cameras returning with corrupted footage. Compasses non-functional within the boundary. This expedition was led by a different team. They had not been briefed on the 1987 incident. Their report was filed in November of 1989. It was also classified. A third expedition, in 1991, experienced a partial version of the phenomenon. 2 researchers reported a 3-hour gap. 2 others reported nothing unusual. After 1991, the Indian Anthropological Survey suspended all close approach operations. The reports from these 3 expeditions have been the subject of internal academic discussion for over 30 years. None of them has ever been fully released. The sections describing the time anomalies remain redacted. The chronometers and corrupted camera files remain in the archive of the Indian Anthropological Survey, New Delhi. They have never been independently examined. In 2019, under pressure from academic freedom of information requests, India declassified portions of the 1987 and 1989 reports. What was released confirmed the basic timeline. What remained redacted included the specific observations the researchers did remember, the transcripts of the radio contact attempts during the gap period, the biological data from the post-expedition medical examinations, and one final classified document, referenced in footnotes but never released, titled simply, Subjective Experience Report. Researchers who have requested access to that document have been told it does not exist in the public archive. Some of them have been told it never existed at all. The Indian Coast Guard continues to enforce the exclusion zone. No civilian vessels are permitted within 3 miles of North Sentinel Island. No academic expeditions have been approved since 1991. The Sentinelese remain there. The island remains there. And whatever happens within those 3 miles, to time, to memory, to electronic equipment, has never been explained. If this case disturbs you, hit subscribe. We document what others refuse to.